Okay, so let's talk about surrender revolving. The next phase of surrender really occurs simultaneously or shortly after one moves into this ability called witness consciousness. Now, if you've never heard of witness consciousness, basically, for a lot of the human existence, we think we are the thoughts and emotions that we have. We are mad. We're mad right now. We are thinking about something. I'm thinking about something. And then as you start to engage in meditation or perhaps other practices like Qigong, breathwork, whatever it is, you start to see that there's a stillness behind the thoughts and emotions that is ever present and always there. And that watcher of the thoughts and the emotions is actually you. It's actually your natural state. And so there's a recognition that you are not the thoughts and the emotions, but you are having thoughts and emotions and you are experiencing them. And all types of amazing things can happen when you have this revelation. A lot of times it can come about spontaneously. Sometimes it can be increasingly gradual. When Michael Singer in this book that we mentioned earlier, The Surrender Experiment, had it, one day he was sitting on a couch and said, wait a second, what's that voice inside my head? And what he was describing was the phenomena of realizing that he was not the voice inside his head. He was not the words and labels that he was experiencing, and that he was actually kind of stepped back behind that. And so when witness consciousness occurs, which sometimes can start, maybe only a few moments out of the day, but the idea is that gradually you can increasingly occupy greater amounts of time in witness consciousness till it becomes just your default state. When you have that allows you to engage life a little bit differently. And when it comes to surrender, really what it allows you to do is, as the watcher of thoughts and emotions, when you get disturbed, when something triggers you, you have a choice to either engage in that directly and act out that thought or act out that emotion, or as the observer, stop, pause, and notice it and say, oh, look at that disturbance. Look at that version of me that's angry right now. Wow, that's an interesting thought. And then in the process of observing it, you can accept it or you can let go of it, which are all just words for surrendering to that experience. Stay in it, allow it to leave your body, or dissolve, and then decide what you want to do. And so again, how this really plays out is that your reaction and your surrendering is occurring in near real time of the event. And so what that allows you to do is just kind of gradually and increasingly surrender more and more to reality as it is, which is a very big part of the awakening process of evolution of our consciousness. And so that's the idea. And as you get into witness consciousness, you're not going to be able to surrender and recognize times when you are triggered or disturbed in real time every time. It's very often that I'll notice something and I'll be the watcher of my thoughts and be like, wow, like, look at that little version of me that's all, frazzled about something that's really not important. And then later in the day, I will get caught in that thought and being, which is really kind of going unconscious. You think you are those things. And then I'll later recognize that I was triggered or that I was angry. And then I'll sit down and then I will accept and surrender to the fact that that did occur. And so I don't think it's wise or fair to think that when you start to experience witness consciousness, you're all of a sudden going to be surrendering in real time to everything. You're never going to make a mistake. You're going to be completely at ease. That's not how it works. But what will happen is that you will start to do it more often for greater parts of the day, and you will start to improve your ability to notice being disturbed. And with that acute awareness, you will be able to become more surrendered over time until, you just are frankly not really disturbed anymore by much of anything, which is an amazing place to be. So this is really kind of how I would characterize or try to express the second phase of surrender. It's why practices that help facilitate and enhance witness consciousness are so valuable. It's also why you often hear a lot of spiritual teachers say, well, life is a meditation. What they mean by that is that, they are actually in that state of watching thoughts and emotions and this 3D realm simultaneously throughout the entire day. So it's not really like they sit down for 20 minutes in the morning, they're watching their thoughts, and then they're engrossed in them. They've decided to expand that practice to the entirety of their life experience. And so that is when people say life is a meditation, that's kind of what they were referring to. And with that ability, comes new levels of surrender. So this is, again, the second phase, and there is even a deeper phase, which I will talk about, and I'll even share some personal stories in the next video. If you are liking this series, please subscribe, because I'm always just adding new videos about surrender, and I want you to get them if you like this. So we'll see you on the next video.